Oh my God, the conservatives are absolutely imploding, and I am loving every second of it. So here's the situation. Pierre Poilievre and his team thought that they were going to waltz into a majority government, right? We all knew that. And they were really cocky about it. But then reality hit because Mark Carney took over the Liberals, and Trump's tariff threats have Canadians genuinely worried. And instead of handling it like competent adults, the conservatives are just having a full-on meltdown behind the scenes. So multiple conservative sources, yes, their own people, are now spilling the tea to CBC and calling the campaign a mess and highly disorganized and dysfunctional. And the biggest part of the problem is Jenny Byrne. You know, the lady that you constantly see in the pictures with the MAGA hat, the one that's Pierre Poilievre's chief strategist? Yeah, well, she apparently runs the show like an authoritarian nightmare, and nothing happens without her approval. So instead of people getting a clear strategy in the party, campaign staff are just left scrambling. And some of them only found out what their jobs were hours before the campaign launched. So imagine spending years screaming for an election and then showing up to game day with no game plan. Embarrassing. And get this, there is so much infighting in the party right now. Corey Teneke, who's a very senior conservative strategist, is now openly dragging the campaign. He's saying that it's completely off course, and he even leaked internal polling to the Toronto Star showing that the Liberals are leading. His biggest complaint is that Pierre is acting a little bit too much like Trump and making up silly nicknames for opponents, focusing on ridiculous conspiracy theories, and completely ignoring the one issue that actually matters right now, which are obviously Trump's plans to wreck the Canadian economy and potentially annex us. Instead of dealing with that, what are the conservatives doing? Well, they're crying about the media downplaying PP's crowd sizes. I'm not joking. I'm serious. That's what they're worried about. Meanwhile, the Liberals are out there actually addressing the fact that Trump's tariffs could potentially, destroy jobs for Canadians. But, it gets better because it turns out the campaign is miserable to work on. Insiders are now describing a toxic environment where top staff yell and belittle people and rule by fear is what this article said. And one person straight up called it bullying. So imagine how bad it has to be for conservatives, the people that, love toxic workplaces, for them to actually be complaining about it to CBC. So what now? Well, some people inside the conservative camp are saying that Poilievre is finally going to start talking more about Trump's threats because, what a concept. But a lot of others are saying that him and Jenny are just too stubborn, and instead of fixing their disaster of a campaign, they're just going to go nuclear on Carney with a smear campaign. So, classic conservative playbook. If you can't win with ideas, just start slinging mud like crazy, right? Something will hopefully stick. Either way, this is exactly what they deserve in my opinion because, they thought they had it in the bag and now they're in full-blown panic mode. And honestly, I hope that they stay in free fall until election day, I'm not gonna lie.